Hi guys, it's MynnuB, and this is it. This is the finale, and it'll be just a little longer because I'm doing the 4th week plus the last 3 days of the month of week 5, so I'll be cramming those in here as well. But of course, welcome to week 4 of my Digital Inktober challenge. This is an OC-centric challenge, and keep in mind I'm not using the official Inktober prompt list. All the prompts featured here are by CrimsonsCreations on DeviantArt, and her links are in the description below, so check those out if you like. So starting with day 22, which is Guts, this one was really fun because I wanted to try a more cutesy, wholesome spin on an obviously gruesome, horrific, macabre sort of prompt. So Hachiko has returned for this one because I just love Hachi, you know. And the whole idea is that half of her is like an anatomy diagram sort of thing, and her other half, she's got her fur and all. So drawing this gave me the excuse to include guts and intestines and all the yucky mucky stuff per the prompt, while still being somewhat cute. Yeah, somewhat cute. Somewhat. And here's the final result. Day 23 is phases, and I first saw this prompt and I knew this would be a really fantastic and interesting prompt to approach, but I had some trouble at first on what exactly to draw. But later on I decided to give this one to my demon character Desdemona because in her concept where she is sent to Earth to work with the angel Aniela, she has to contain her powers and any other signs that she's a supernatural being, you know, for her to blend in with the humans. And this can be difficult at times because she'll have a tendency to slip when she is angry or scared or under a lot of stress, which of course she doesn't like to admit, and it's something that can't be helped. But this is dangerous, of course, because revealing her powers in public can jeopardize the mission she and Aniela were sent on Earth to complete. And I actually initially sketched this prompt without Aniela in it, so it was just Desdemona and her inner demon, so to speak. But I felt that Aniela being there exhibits the development of their relationship and how she's no longer afraid of Desdemona and is willing to hold her down whenever necessary throughout their journey. Plus, there's an upcoming prompt in which Desdemona does a similar thing for Aniela, so I wanted to show that it goes both ways, you know. So here's the final result. Day 24 is bleeding, and I immediately had an idea in mind for this prompt, which was given to my busker Sai from the barista and busker concept. So I've already established in the week 3 video that Sai is pretty antisocial and he really can't trust or confide in anyone because of a past traumatic event, which I have yet to reveal. And with this, he is prone to getting into fights, and he tends to get into fights that he can't win. He needs to feel that he is in control of the situation, but unfortunately, he isn't most of the time, and for a lot of different reasons. So what I thought of is maybe while he was out busking, some guy tried to steal the money he was earning, and Sai tried to pick a fight with him, which leads to Sai's inevitable defeat. And he's just left battered and bruised. And then the barista Victor comes along, very concerned, and helps clean him up. And while Sai doesn't like to show it, he really is more than grateful for him. And I feel that this was also important for me to show because Victor acts as a catalyst for Sai to open up his feelings, and he's really the first person that Sai feels he can trust, which brings some development in both their characters, I think. So here's the final result. Day 25 is Sacrifice, and this is the prompt I was referencing when I was explaining day 23. So when I drew this prompt, I knew I wanted it to be adjacent to the Phases prompt, where Aniela is sort of calming Desdemona down when she loses control. And here in this prompt, something is attacking Aniela, and it could very well be the entity I mentioned in the previous Inktober videos, or something else, I don't know. But whatever this off-screen entity is, it is targeting Aniela specifically, and now this is where Desdemona, without hesitation, puts herself in the line of fire to shield Aniela and thus sacrificing herself for whatever it is to come. So I felt that this was important in both day 23 and day 25 to convey the development of their relationship, because both of them were always taught to believe that it's frowned upon for a demon to protect or show any concern or caring for an angel, and vice versa. And as they grow throughout their journey, they gradually realize that maybe they both got some things wrong in some ways. And here's the final result. Day 26 is Monster, and this was such a fun prompt because it was the catalyst in which I could introduce this other concept of mine that I'm not delving too much into, but I've developed just a little. So this pays homage to the very first drawing featured in my DeviantArt gallery, and it's still up, so search at your own risk. And it was for a drawing contest, and the prompt was the monster under the bed. And a few years later, as I mentioned in the week 3 video, I redesigned all of my original characters, which is sort of how you see them now. But the sort of story I had in mind for these guys was that this little boy loves to draw and create monsters and creatures, and he was given a drawing notebook as a gift. But what he didn't know was that this was a magic notebook, and whatever he draws on it will eventually come to life off of the pages. So he drew this magnificent monster, and the monster eventually came to life. And now he's introducing this monster to his friend here, and she is just shocked and amazed by this creature. And then the three of them can go on little adventures together. So this story is really whimsical and childlike, and I sort of wanted it to be like the plot of a children's book or show, you know. And here's the final result. Day 27 is Knife, and I had such a fun time with this because what immediately came to mind for this prompt was that stupid meme of the plush chick holding the knife, and for me that meme just screams Aniela, so that's what I drew. Now, Aniela may not look very intimidating. She is quite small and round and just a soft-looking character in comparison to Desdemona, for example, who is a tall and slender and more sharp-edged sort of character. And even when I draw her in color, she's always depicted with a soft pastel sort of color palette, so she's obviously very angelic and light and fluffy. But do keep in mind that she is a very powerful and scary being when she wants to be, and she will destroy and annihilate anybody who stands in her— Whoa. Okay, too much, I'm sorry. Something came over, yeah, I'm so sorry. Here's the final result. Day 28 is Abduction, and this was funny, so I took a funny approach with this prompt, and I featured my Velpa species from the previous Inktober videos. So when I think of Abduction, I just think of the funny scene where the UFO with the alien comes to Earth and just beams up a cow just chilling in a pasture or whatever, and it's always a cow, like always a cow, which is so funny. So I thought it would be funny if I drew this Velpus resembling a cow, was just minding her own business, doing her thing, and then seemingly out of nowhere, she is beamed up by this alien UFO thing. So yeah, it's plain and simple. That's just what I went for. And here's the final result. Day 29 is Masque, and so I initially couldn't think of how to draw this concept, but what I did know was that I wanted to finally put the design of the aforementioned entity of neither heaven nor hell from the angel and demon concept to paper, or drawing software, but anyway, so before doing these prompts, I hadn't thought about the design of the entity, and all I knew was that there would be a mask incorporated into its design. So what I eventually did was I made up this sort of inky, shadowy looking character. And that would kind of look like an amalgamation of a typical angel and demon. So you'll find both demonic and angelic characteristics in its design, and these include these large horns that sort of curve in such a way that they take the silhouette of a halo, and multiple eyes covering its body and wings to mimic how powerful angels like cherubim and seraphim are described in scripture, and a few other things as well. And the mask is sort of symbolic of being multifaceted, so the idea is that this entity is not just one thing, and though it doesn't belong to heaven or hell, it looks like it belongs to both in a sense. So here's the final result. Day 30 is Unicorn, and this was just so much fun. I really enjoyed this prompt, but I knew right away I didn't want to just draw a unicorn because it seemed too straight to the point, and I wanted to have fun with this prompt. So you already know what I do when the prompt doesn't fit into my other concepts. I go right to the Velpus species. So this Velpus would be considered a rare form of the species, and I've mentioned they come in various forms and types. So this one is a rare winged variation of the species, and even though unicorns don't traditionally have wings, I think that's like a Pegasus if I'm not mistaken, but it's okay, it's got a horn, so it counts. But yeah, this was kind of fun to incorporate the characteristics of a unicorn into my own little character. And here's the final result. Day 31 is Death, and believe it or not, this prompt was one of my favorite prompts because I knew I wanted to draw death in a way that wasn't entirely traditional. So first, I knew I wanted to personify death, and in that I did take the traditional route in drawing him as the stereotypical Grim Reaper character, but I've decided to draw him as more of a friendly, innocent figure as opposed to this dark and evil character that he's usually depicted as, because death in and of itself is not evil. It is natural and will inevitably happen to every living thing. So what I did was I drew him sitting by a grave, possibly of someone he had just recently claimed the soul of, and by the grave of this person in particular, he finds a flower and is just mesmerized by it. So with this, I wanted to depict the symbolism of death actually appreciating living things, and even this flower is symbolic of the fact that there is life after death, and life and death are balanced, and just sort of yin and yang, you know. So that's what I wanted to do, because death is a really touchy subject for me, and I'm sure for many others as well, but I wanted to try to make the concept of death a little less morbid and maybe just a little more accepting in a sense. And here's the final result. And with that, the entirety of my Digital Inktober challenge is over. Thank you very much for watching, and a huge thank you to CrimsonsCreations on DeviantArt for letting me use her prompt list in the video. All of these prompts were just so much fun and challenging, and I absolutely enjoyed attempting to contribute my concepts and characters within these prompts in the best way that I can. And if you're not into the official Inktober prompt list, please go check hers out. You'll find links to her prompt post and her DeviantArt page in the description below for anyone who is still interested in participating even in the final days of October. It's really never too late, you guys, you know, go crazy. And definitely check out her other content as well. She's got some really great works over on DA. And also, please let me know if you guys are interested in more voiceovers. I had a lot of fun doing these voiceovers. So if me doing voiceovers for like a few of my regular speed paints interests you, just let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate your feedback. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested, all my links are in the description as well, including the week 1, 2, and 3 videos if you'd like to see more content. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!